Hello everyone, this is Richard. Welcome to another edition of Starfield Essentials. In this video, I'm going to be testing whether or not cargo is supplied while a character is sleeping. I've heard different reports of this. Some people swear that it's true, others have said that it is not, and I'm hoping to put that argument to rest here. So in order to test this, I'm going to set up an outpost. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter what is being extracted. In my case, I'm using the moon of Cragg in the Cheyenne system, and I'm going to be extracting silver. I set up 6 silver extractors, and I feed those to 12 small storage containers. Each one of the small storage containers will hold 75 kilograms of silver. And my goal with this outpost is to not have any bottlenecks as far as the deliveries would go. In other words, if you sleep long enough, you fill all the storage containers, and there should be no issue as far as the cargo ships, which can carry 300 kilograms of cargo from site to site. So in this part of the video, I've set up the storage. I'm connecting the extractors to the storage. The next thing I'll do is I will add power. And the final 2 components will be a landing pad with ship builder, just so it makes it a little bit easier to know where my ship is going to land, because I'm going to be shuttling back and forth between these outposts, seeing what's going on. I will also add a cargo link, and the cargo link will be within the same solar system. So I will not need to supply any HE3 or anything like that. So here you can see that I am adding in the landing pad with ship builder. That's kind of optional. And then finally, I am setting up the cargo link. And at this location, because it is extracting resources, I am sending the extracted silver to the outgoing cargo link. Now, the other outpost is going to the moon of Heilo, also in the Cheyenne system. Again, this is completely arbitrary, although I have to admit I did pick these 2 planets because they have similar hour to UT hour setups. One is 6 hours and one is 5 hours per 1 hour on UT time. So here I am at Heilo, and I'm setting up the same shipbuilder, and I'm setting up a cargo link. I'm putting storage at that site so that I can collect all of the silver that is being mined on Cragg. Again, I'm setting up 12 small storage containers. I'm linking them all together, and I'm going to link the incoming cargo link to the storage. So any resources that come from Cragg will be put into this storage here on Heilo. Now, the next part of the video is where the magic happens. What I'm going to be doing is activating the cargo link between these 2 outposts. And again, the silver is being mined on Cragg, and it is being transmitted to Heilo. And in the video, as soon as I establish this cargo link, we're going to see a ship land. And initially, there's not going to be much of anything happening. In fact, when I set up the first delivery, there's nothing that gets transmitted from site to site. And I believe this was simply the case because I was doing this all in real time. There hadn't been enough time for the extractors on Cragg to remove enough silver from the ground and to put it in storage. So even though a ship is landing here, there is nothing being delivered in it. There should have been some, I would imagine, because some time has passed, but for whatever reason, nothing was delivered. And you can see me flipping back and forth here on the incoming cargo link, trying to see if any silver was delivered. I didn't see anything happen there. When I come on over to the silver storage itself, I don't see anything in any of the storage containers. So the next step for me is to go to the source, to go back to Cragg, and to take a look at the extraction site and see what is going on there. So now I am heading over to Cragg. This is the site where all of the silver is being extracted, and I'm going to see if any of the silver is ending up in the storage containers that I've set up at that site. Now I'm on the cargo link, and I'm checking out the outgoing storage, and you can see that the outgoing storage does indeed have some silver in it. And in the course of this ship landing and me watching, the silver count is slowly increasing, and I believe it gets up to at least 18 or so units of silver. So that means that this ship that is now about to depart should take some silver with it to the storage location at the second outpost on the moon of Heilo. So here I am, I'm going to jet back to Heilo, and I'm going to take a look there, and I'm going to see if any silver is being delivered. Once we can verify that silver is being shipped from one outpost to the other, then we know we have a successful setup going. And now I'm back here at the silver storage site on Heilo, and we can see that there is indeed silver being stored at these in these storage containers, which is a great sign. Now, this is where the magic happens. Again, I'm going to sleep, and I'm going to sleep for a total of 12 local hours, which is something like 60 hours UT. And if I were to wake up and find that the storage was filled, that would tell me that cargo transfer is happening while I'm sleeping. And as you can tell, I did have a ship just taking off, which means something was just delivered. However, almost all of these containers are empty. Over 60 UT hours, and hardly anything was delivered during that time. In fact, the only delivery that happened was the one that basically I transitioned into, which didn't happen while I was sleeping. So what this shows me is that there is no transfer of materials happening while you're sleeping. What is happening is at your extraction site, silver is being extracted, and it is going into storage. And once you are active again in the game, once you're playing in real time, the ships will begin landing. They will shuttle from place to place, and they will deliver all of the stored materials. I feel that this might give some people the illusion that shipments are being transferred while you're sleeping, but that's really not the case. As we can see in this video, I slept for over 60 hours and my storage was not filled. Now you might say, well, there wasn't enough stored over that time to transfer that amount. Well, as you'll see, I've already had one transfer occur, and it filled up, I think, about 4 of these containers, which is about 300 kilograms worth of silver, or 500 units of silver, because in this game, each silver is 0.6 kilograms. So we've just had a second delivery in real time. And again, I've sped through this to cut out the boring parts. But in that second delivery, we had another 500 units or 300 kilogram of silver delivered. So what that tells me was there was plenty of silver waiting in storage at the other location, and it just took a few minutes of real game time in order for it to be delivered. We're going to see the same phenomenon play out. Here we have another ship landing. It is bringing yet more storage, more silver that was stored at the extraction site. And once it arrives, it's going to get shuttled into the storage containers that we have waiting here. Now, I guess the question is, what's the practical effect of this? Does it not matter that when you're sleeping, nothing is being transferred? I guess it really does have to do with sort of where your bottlenecks are in your production facilities. I personally like to have a little bit better control over what's being transferred. So when I did my O2 shot farm, I liked to manually bring 6,000 units or so of various resources from outpost to outpost, so that when I got to the other location, it took one trip. I wasn't sitting around waiting, because if you think about trying to transfer 6,000 units of some resource, that'll take a lot of real game time of just sitting and waiting, because these cargo ships only carry 300 kilograms of resources. So that's a lot of real game time where you're simply waiting for resources to appear. And for me, I mean, if you want to do a little bit more automation, I suppose that would work, but I would rather not just sit inside the game waiting for these ships to transfer. I'd rather take care of it myself. What do you think about this, Sarah?
Happy to listen. Fishing for a handout, eh? Always and any time. I will never love another person as much as I love you.
All right, I enjoyed hearing from Sarah. I hope you did too. And I hope you liked this experiment and showing what is really going on behind the scenes when you are trying to transfer cargo. It shows that when you're sleeping, cargo is not transferred, but practical effect of that might not be as big as you might imagine. My name is Richard, and I will see you in the Starfield.